Mercedes' performance at the recent Japanese Grand Prix left the team deeply disappointed. While Lewis Hamilton managed to maintain his streak of top 5 finishes at Suzuka, the gap between Mercedes and the pace-setting Red Bull team was substantial. To compound matters, McLaren, more frequently than usual, outperformed Mercedes based on their own merit, securing the team's first double podium of the season. Hamilton expressed his concerns about this result and discussed the reasons behind Mercedes' struggle to keep up with the competition. In today's video, we'll delve into Mercedes' performance at the Japanese Grand Prix, Hamilton's disappointment, and the team's future prospects. McLaren has set a new standard with its rapid car development throughout this season, allowing them to draw closer to Red Bull's design philosophy in terms of aerodynamics and mechanics. This trajectory has enabled McLaren to achieve performance improvements of over 1 second per lap at typical racetracks. McLaren faced a challenging start to the 2023 season, having fallen behind due to missed development targets over the 2022 winter break. At the outset, the MCL 60 was officially ranked as the 7th fastest car for the first 5 races of the season. However, McLaren's technical team diligently pursued a different direction and introduced significant upgrade packages to close the gap with the Red Bull teams. The team's most recent major upgrade package was unveiled during the Singapore race weekend, resulting in Lando Norris securing a second-place finish. Building on their success in Singapore, McLaren delivered another strong performance in Japan, with Norris again clinching a P2 finish. His teammate, Oscar Piastri, equipped with the latest upgrades for the first time, secured his maiden podium finish in Formula One by finishing on the podium. Lewis Hamilton, representing Mercedes, emphasized the need for his team to make similar strides in car development. He cited the impressive performance of McLaren, which aligns with a concept akin to Red Bull's dominance, as evidence of the direction Mercedes should pursue. Hamilton asserted, "The evidence is clear from McLaren, and we cannot ignore it. We must examine their approach and move in that direction. I believe my team can do it. We have always excelled at adding downforce to the car, but with our current setup, increasing downforce only exacerbates the issue." He added, "I am hopeful that with a change in philosophy, we will return to the level this team deserves. We are a World Championship caliber team, and I have unwavering faith in everyone here. The decisions we make in this critical period will determine our trajectory." Hamilton noted that since the resumption of racing after the summer break, he has not felt comfortable with the W14, especially during qualifying, likening the experience to trying to balance a knife on its tip. During the Japanese Grand Prix, Lewis Hamilton managed to outperform his teammate in qualifying. However, Hamilton found himself more than a second adrift of Max Verstappen's Red Bull during the Q3 session. Notably, Hamilton struggled during Friday's practice sessions but managed to transform this deficit into a clear advantage over his teammate in the qualifying session, where he appeared considerably more at ease while piloting the W14. Reflecting on his qualifying performance, Hamilton remarked, "Yesterday was a nightmare. It was not the kind of balance you desire at a track like this. However, we made significant improvements overnight, and today, the car felt much more enjoyable to drive. It achieved a near-perfect balance, albeit with a significant deficit in rear downforce. I can't maintain anywhere near the speeds that these guys can achieve through the initial sector." George Russell, following qualifying, regarded the lap times set by both Hamilton and himself as a reasonable reflection of the W14's performance at Suzuka. He also noted that the Japanese circuit was a challenging track for the W14, given its particular speed characteristics. However, Russell held a differing view from his teammate concerning the car's setup, suggesting that the team might have intentionally slowed down the car in pursuit of enhanced performance. Russell commented on the W14's challenging nature in qualifying, stating, "It's undeniably demanding. There's a sweet spot when it comes to tracks like this, and finding it can be quite elusive. When you miss it, you can find yourself significantly off the pace. Yesterday, our competitiveness was better, we were much closer to the rest of the field than we are today." He continued, "So, it's undoubtedly a step back for my side of the garage. Yesterday, we were just 2 tenths behind the second fastest, but today, we're in 6th place. The car presents difficulties when we encounter both high and low speed corners." The overarching message from both Hamilton and Russell was clear: on tracks characterized by numerous high-speed corners, top-end downforce becomes crucial, and the W14 struggles to consistently generate downforce, hampering driver confidence in attacking such corners with high speeds. Mercedes acknowledges this issue and is actively addressing it in their 2024 car, aiming to enhance the W15's overall attributes and performance. Nevertheless, the Japanese Grand Prix at Suzuka underscored the considerable gap between Mercedes and competitors like Red Bull and McLaren in this specific aspect. This season has witnessed a trend of customer teams outperforming Mercedes, but the nearly half-second deficit to McLaren at Suzuka was particularly striking. The W14's performance ceiling on tracks like Suzuka appears limited, and its unpredictable behavior can catch drivers off guard, as was the case with George Russell in Japan. The issue of unpredictability has plagued Mercedes persistently since the advent of the current ground effect technical regulations in 2022. There appears to be a misalignment between what transpires in the factory and what unfolds on the track, with Mercedes struggling to fully comprehend the dynamics of their car. It appears that there is a critical piece of data missing as the team attempts to unravel the puzzle beneath their car. This has compelled the team to re-evaluate their plans for both the current and upcoming seasons. Team principal Toto Wolff openly admitted that Mercedes has no choice but to retire the W14 once it reaches its peak performance and shift their sole focus towards next year's car. Wolff conveyed to the media, "We will discard this car when it's performing at its best and then embark on a fresh journey." He also pointed out that, despite having a different designation, the overall philosophy of the car remains akin to the W13 from the previous year, emphasizing that the foundational aspects are retained. He went on to explain, "We find ourselves going in circles on how to enhance the car, which is proving to be a challenging task. For next year, we are working on altering these foundational elements, indicating that there's considerable potential, although the outcome is unpredictable." Throughout the year, Wolff has consistently asserted that the W14 shares the same driving feel as the W13 from 2022. When Lewis Hamilton was asked about his expectations for the W15 in the upcoming season and the extent to which his input has influenced its development, he replied, "There are certain aspects I've requested, and we have partially incorporated them into the direction for next year. All the input that George and I have provided, I believe, has been carefully considered." He added, "I have no certainty about where the car will stand next year, but we have a significant journey ahead. We must hope for the next 6 months to be the most productive period of development we've ever experienced to close the gap and challenge at the forefront." Andrew Shovlin, Mercedes trackside engineering director, shared insights into the W15 at the Japanese Grand Prix, offering a much-needed morale boost for Hamilton. Shovlin disclosed that the team is actively working to establish a more consistent baseline for the W15, addressing the issues faced with the current car. He explained, "We are investing significant effort in resolving the problems with this car to ensure they don't carry over to next year. We've made progress since 2022, where the car often struggled in qualifying but performed relatively better in races. However, our overarching concern is that we are not quick enough, particularly when it comes to challenging Red Bull." Shovlin concluded by highlighting the need to boost driver confidence, which is currently lacking. He expressed optimism about ongoing projects that, if successful, could yield positive results. Hamilton has consistently asserted that if any team can challenge Red Bull for championships, it is Mercedes. Considering Mercedes' acknowledgement of their previous mistakes and the shift in their approach to car development for the upcoming season, along with Andrew Shovlin's remarks, the team's future remains uncertain. Whether they can defend their second place in the Constructors' Championship against Ferrari will depend on their ability to bridge the performance gap. I'm eager to hear your thoughts and perspectives. Please share them in the comments section below. Also, remember to subscribe to the channel for notifications on our future uploads, ensuring you stay informed about the developments in the 2023 Formula One season.